There was an interesting story yesterday, which I thought I posted a thing about, and clearly I didn't. I was clearly in another world. I'm down in Exeter, so presumably, in a way, I am in another world. And uh, somebody's made threats to those people who are helping, quote, or who are involved in the imprisonment of migrants in the barge at Portland. And these letters, which have been sent to taxi firms, a security company, the barge management firm, the Dorset Council, are really quite unpleasant. They're talking about collaborators as if we're in World War II. And the police correctly identify that those people who are attacking anyone working on the Bible Stockholm or threatening anyone working on the Bible Stockholm, that these letters are deeply offensive and may indeed fall into a criminal category. My concern is I don't see a huge difference in tone or language between what these letters are saying and the language used by the Home Secretary when she stood at the dispatch box and screamed, "Invasion! Invader!" about Albanians. And this provoked the march by the Albanian community around Westminster. It provoked the Crown Prince Leka to write to the Home Secretary and receive no reply. It provoked the Prime Minister, Edi Rama, to write to the government, and I presume received no reply, or at least received a dilatory and desultory response. The problem, I think, is, although I think these letters are abhorrent and need to be condemned, and the police are right to act on them, I think these people have been inspired by the bad example of the Home Secretary. And this is why the Home Secretary needs to be regularly called out, because she is setting such a bad example. And when she does it in Parliament and gets away with it, and then other people follow her example and they find the police at their door, and they wonder why I'm just doing what the Home Secretary inspired me to do. I don't think that's a defence, by the way, because you can't be inspired to do something wrong. But I think it is an explanation, and it shows how appalling is the leadership that we have at the moment in the Conservative Party. They signed their letter Britain First, and the Britain First organisation said that it has nothing to do with that letter. It repudiates the contents and intent. But again, we're looking at an organisation which has inspired this sort of behaviour. And it's a thin line which you cross from what is, quote, legal to what is illegal. I think it's much better to look at what is moral and what is immoral. And the whole thing of this xenophobia and inhospitality is not only immoral, it's un-British. A small number of letters, we're told by Chief Superintendent Richard Bell from the Dorset Police, a small number of letters. The content of the letters appears to be linked to the planned use of the Bible Stockholm to house asylum seekers at Portland Port. We understand everyone will have a different viewpoint and opinion on the housing of asylum seekers in our communities, but we will not tolerate action that is hateful or intended to put others in fear of going about their day-to-day business. Well, he could say that surely to the Prime Minister and to the Home Secretary, as much as he can say that with good reason to those people who penned these appalling letters. He says the investigation is ongoing. No arrests have been made at this time. If you receive such a letter, please contact the Dorset Police. So far, no asylum seekers are housed on the barge, partly because the fire department say that it's unsafe. And it's been described as a potential death trap. But, you know, everything in this story screams about a bad course of action. Everything screams about something which is inappropriate.